वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. We are into the 8th canto and we completed the first chapter, which is the description of Manvantars. And in the second chapter today, we will read about the celebrated battle between Gajendra and Grah. Gajendra, the king of elephants, and Grah, the crocodile. We will know that Gajendra was a pious king, King Indradyumna, but he had been cursed by Agastya Rishi. And similarly, Gra had also been cursed. He was the king of Gandharva, a top singer, Hu, and he had been cursed to become a crocodile. We'll read about the details in the next two chapters. But this particular canto, Canto 8, or Astamaskand, deals with the topic of Manvantar. So we will learn about different Manvantars. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantars, and each Manvantar lasts for 71 Chaturyugis. And each Chaturyugi we know has one Satyug, one Treta, one Dwapar, one Kalyug, total of 43 lakhs 20,000 years. Multiply that by 71, which is 30 crores 67 lakhs 20,000 years. That is the duration of a Manvantar. Multiplied that by 14, that is 4 crore 32 lakhs years. That is the day of Brahma. And then Brahmaji goes to sleep. That is the night of Brahmaji. So we are now into the 7th Manvantar, which is called the Vaivasvat Manvantar. First Manvantar is Swayambhu, then the Swarochish, then Uttam Tamas, then Uttam Tamas Raivat, and the 7th Manvantar is Vaivasvat Manu. Vaivasvat Manu is the son of Lord Vivaswan, which is Surya Dev, and Surya Dev is the son of Lord. He is in the lineage of the Brahmaji, and Vivasvat ji is the son of Lord Vivaswan, and in that lineage we will have later Ikshwaku ji, which is the ancestor of Sri Ramchandra. So in Manvantar, we will read that every Manvantar there are 7 Saptarishis, 7 rishis, and there are Rishi Putras, there are Manu Putras, and there are Rishis, and then there are sets of Devata. There is an Indra, and also the Lord takes a special appearance. So in the 4th Manvantar, Lord will appear as Hari, and he will deliver Gajendra. So that is the avatar of the Lord in this Manvantar. Then we will read in the next Manvantar, Lord will appear as Mohini. And in another avatar, Lord will appear as Vaman Dev. So in different Manvantar, there are different avatars. So let's read about them. But before that, let us begin the session with a bhajan, which is Radhe Adha Dhund Darbar Rateja Radhe Radhe. राधे अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे 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 अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे 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 अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि शुकर बनि आयो पृथ्वी पाताल ले आयो जब हरि शुकर बनि आयो पृथ्वी पाताल ले आयो कब किन्यो रास बिहार रटे जा राधे राधे कब किन्यो रास बिहार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि नृ सिंह बनि आयो शंकर हूँ लखी डर पायो जब हरि जब हरि नृ सिंह बनि आयो शंकर हूँ लखी डर पायो कब भई गोपिन बलिहार रटे जा राधे 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 अधा धूत दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि कछप बनि आयो चल निधि मंथन करवायो जब हरि कछप बनि आयो चल निधि मंथन करवायो कब बजी मुरली रिझवार रटे जा राधे राधे कब बजी मुरली रजवार रटे जा राधे 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 अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि वामन बनि आयो बलि बांधि पताल पठायो जब हरि वामन बनि आयो बलि बांधि पताल पठायो कब नाच्यो संग ब्रजनार रटे जा राधे राधे अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे 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 अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि तनु मीन बनायो वेदन उद्धार करायो जब हरि तनु मीन बनायो वेदन उद्धार करायो कब चिर हर जो ब्रजनार रटे जा राधे राधे कब चिर हर जो ब्रजनार रटे जा राधे 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 अधा धुंध दरबार रटे जा राधे राधे जब हरि राघव बनि आयो, शूरपन कहि नाक कटायो। जब हरि राघव बनि आयो, शूरपन कहि नाक कटायो। कब किए करो रननार, रटे जा राधे राधे। कब किए करो रननार, रटे जा राधे राधे राधे। अधा धूंध दरबार, रटे जा राधे राधे। जब राधा ब्रज में आई, हरु हरि ने लई शरणाई। जब राधा ब्रज में आई, हरु हरि ने लई शरणाई। तब भये रसिक सरदार, रटे जा राधे राधे राधे। अधा धूंध दरबार, रटे जा राधे राधे। जो राधा नाम न हो तो कृष्ण कृष्ण नहीं हो तो। जो राधा नाम न हो तो कृष्ण कृष्ण नहीं हो तो। असमम कृपालु सरकार, रटे जा राधे राधे। असमम कृपालु सरकार, रटे जा राधे राधे राधे। अधा धूंध दरबार, रटे जा राधे राधे। रटे जा राधे राधे, रटे जा राधे राधे। रटे जा राधे राधे, रटे जा राधे राधे राधे। अधा धूंध दरबार, रटे जा राधे राधे। रटे जा राधे राधे, रटे जा राधे राधे। बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our humble koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanand ji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now we shall read from the Canto 8, Chapter 8.2. We are learning about the episode of Gajendra. Many of us have been exposed to this beautiful narration, beautiful episode. How the elephant was saved by the Lord. The elephant had been fighting with the crocodile for so many years. The battle has lasted for 1,000 years. And finally, the elephant has surrendered to the Lord. And when he surrenders, the Lord appears in his conveyance, which is Gadurji. And then the elephant Gajendra offers a garland to the Lord. The Lord accepts and saves him. He kills the Grah. And then we learn about these personalities. So let us read on. I will read a few slides and then others can raise their hands to read the remaining. Chapter 8.2, Gajendra in Trikut. In this Manvantar, there was a mountain named Trikut, surrounded by the milk ocean, Chir Sagar, 80,000 miles high and wide. Its three peaks of silver, steel, and gold were the most majestic. It was most resplendent with greenery and all kind of trees bearing fruits added to its charm. The waves lapping at its foot made it glimmer. The caves were frequented by Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadhars, Kinnars, Nagas, and Apsaras. Freshwater rivers and lakes flowed into the mountain abundantly. Rituman was one such garden in the valley of this mountain belonging to god Varun. In the garden was a lake abounding with the most fragrant lilies and lotuses, kadams, nalas, which are reeds, nipas, kadams, and vanjulas, with the pleasing resonance, humming of bees and birds, swarmed by swans, chakravaks, which are geese, cranes, waterfowls, koyastis, which is paddy bird, and chataks, making it a visual delight. The kundas, jasmine, Purabacus, red amaranths, ashokas, sinsas, kutajas, swarnayutis, yellow jasmine, mallikas, sataptras, madhavi's spring flower, jalakas were the flowers adding color to the mountain. So this is the description of the mountain called Trikut, which is situated in the Milk Ocean. So we understood that we have this Brahmand which is 4 billion miles in diameter. So Brahmand is one universe and there are millions and actually infinite number of such universes which are there in the multiverse. So we are talking about the Brahmand in which we live, and how big is that? So the diameter is 4 billion miles, and in the center is Bhumandal, and above Bhumandal is Bhuvar Lok, and above Bhuvar Lok is Swarga Lok, and then Jana Lok, and then Mahalok, and then Tapa Lok, and then Brahma Lok, which is also called Satya Lok. So these constitute the 7 planets. And below there is Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, Patal. There are the nether worlds. And below the Patal there is 28 types of hellish planets. So these are the planetary positions, and also we have the nakshatras, we have the sun and the moon and different grahas, navagraha, and also we have Dhruv Tara, Saptarishis, and finally the end of the Brahmand, there is the Birja river. Only when the soul crosses the Birja river, they enter the Paravyom. The qualified soul can extend, can get past the Birja and enter the Paravyom, because the qualification to enter Paravyom, which is the spiritual sky, is that the Maya should not be present. So when the soul is God realized, the Maya has been asked to pack its bag, then all the senses and the mind and the intellect, everything becomes divine, and then the soul with the divine mind and the divine intellect goes into the spiritual realm. That is the meaning of God realization. So in this Brahmand, in the Bhulok, there is Jambudvip, which is the central island, and in the center of the Jambudvip there is Sumeru Parvat. And after Jambudvip there is another dvip which is called Palaksh Dvip, and then there are another 5 dvip: Shalmali, Shaka, Kronch, Pushkar, etc. And in between the dweep, there is the body of milk, water, or the sugarcane water, or the fragrant water, and the curd, yogurt. So all these are there in the Brahmand. So in the Chir Sagar, in the milk ocean, close to that, there is this Trikut mountain, and yeah, this is the display of the Brahmand. You can see the Mount Meru in the center, and at the base is Jambudvip, and then there are different dweep and different oceans. So there is ocean of sugarcane syrup, and then there is the ocean of wine, ocean of curded milk, ocean of butter, ocean of milk. So on the right side you see the ocean of milk, that is the Chir Sagar, and there you see there will be this mountain Trikut, which is described in the text. And between the Swarg Lok and Bhulok, you can see the sun and the moon and the Navagrahas. All these are and different stars. So now we can go back to the display and uh, just read, just get to know about the description of the in the first slide, how many different types of flowers and how many different types trees have been described. Some of them we have heard, like Mallika, the Ashok tree, and but many we have not even heard. Kadam we have heard, but there are different descriptions. And the birds, crane we know, Saras, geese we know, Hans, uh, uh, Hans is swan, waterfall also we know, and Chatak bird is a very majestic bird which is always looking for the rainwater from the Swati Nakshatra. It is very loyal to Swati Nakshatra and it can drink water only from Swati Nakshatra. So in the glories of the very intense love, Chatak bird is compared. So, and then the flowers and the trees and different types of personalities like Siddha, Charan, Gandharva, Vidyadhar. They are not like humans, they are beyond the humans. Like Gandharvas are very prominent in singing and dancing, etc. Very much more powerful. Similarly, Siddha, they are very much opulent. There are Nagas, the serpents who live in the lower planets, and Apsaras are there who are very, very beautiful. So, this is the description of the Trikut water, Trikut mountain near the milk ocean. And now let us read how Gajendra will be entering this water pond. One day, a herd of elephant with their leader Gajendra were roaming around most majestically. Other ferocious animals like lions, tigers, rhinos, saravs, 8-foot animals now extinct, chamaris, female yak, even other leader of elephants due to fear stayed out of the way of the Gajendra's herd, just sniffing his scent from far. Gajendra, followed by females, young and other male elephants, headed to this lake, drawn by the fragrance drafting from the lake and also wanting to quench their thirst from the oppressing heat. The herd entered the lake, drank the water to their heart's content, had a bath, and had fun and frolic with each other. Gajendra, deluded by Maya, enjoying with his family, did not see his destiny peril lurking in the water. As fate would have it, just as he was about to step out of the water, a crocodile gripped his foot in its mouth firmly. Using all his strength, he struggled with the crocodile, which alarmed the female elephants, who started shrieking. So this is what happens to Gajendra. He was so much enjoying that he did not realize that such a calamity is about to happen and the crocodile is about to attack. He became completely oblivious in the blissful moments he was having, the material bliss he was enjoying with his family members. Now let's
I
read
think
the next one.
I think Shilaji wants to read.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, over to you, Shilaji.
Okay, thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you.
The other male elephants tried to pull him out, but with no success. Sometimes Gajendra would drag the crocodile. Sometimes the crocodile dragged him back into the water. The devtas from above were also astonished, witnessing this fight tug going on, and 1,000 years rolled by. Gajendra, who till now was identifying himself with the body, was completely exhausted as he was fighting in an uncomfort zone, water, with his energy ebbing away. The crocodile, being most comfortable in water, was strong as ever, now coming to terms with his situation. Gajendra thought, this crocodile is nothing but my fate from whom me or my family has been incapable of saving me. So even though possessing a beastly body, let me approach the Supreme from my protection. Death is forever looking to trap all living beings at an astonishing speed, but he himself is fearful of the Supreme Lord. So let us then approach the Supreme Lord for asylum.
I think
Okay. Yes, so in this slide, we read about how they tried to save Gajendra, but the crocodile was very much more powerful and it dragged the elephant. And then elephant was the King Gajendra was identifying himself with the body. and he became completely exhausted. So he thought about the fate, etc., that death is forever looking to trap all living beings. This is how he started becoming fearful. So he thought of approaching the Supreme Lord. Yes, next slide.
Um,
Shall I
Hemaditi,
carry on here?
I think Hemaditi wants to
Sure.
read the slide.
Yeah,
So,
fine. Thank you.
yeah.
Radhe Radhe Rajeshji, Radhe Radhe everyone.
Okay.
Shukdev tells that after composing himself in this way, Gajendra mentally prayed to the Supreme Lord, which he had learned in his previous Jamna as King Indramanyu. Om Namo Bhagavate, who provides consciousness to all, is also present in all the Purushas. Number two, I mentally pray to that self-existent Lord for my protection, who acts as a witness and manifests during creation and is not seen during dissolution. At the time of final dissolution, all 14 lokas with 5 gross elements, 5 subtle elements, 5 sense perceptions, 5 organs, the mind, the ego, and the Mahatattvas get dissolved in their original cause for two paradas. Number three, just as an actor acts multiple roles with his real persona not known, so he is the Supreme Lord with his infinite manifestations. His real self is not known to anyone. He alone is my refuge, whose most auspicious nature is beyond the capacity of ordinary people, and for which to know pious souls practice severe austerities. Number four, hail to that supreme person, formless, yet possessing infinite forms, who has no birth nor affections by karmas or actions, situated in the supreme, shining in his own splendor, and who acts as a witness of all. Greetings to him who is beyond speech, mind, and mind's diverse faculties. I bow to him who is attainable through a pure mind only, only which is got from Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyas, and Bhakti. Radhe Radhe. So beautiful, huh?
Radhe Radhe, thank you. So here, Gajendra, look at the knowledge that he has. He is giving a summary of the entire, the process of creation and the personality of the Lord. So he is talking about how the final dissolution, the pralaya takes place at the end of Brahmaji's day. The 14 lokas, they dissolve, and how they dissolve. The 5 gross elements, they dissolve into the 5 subtle elements, 5 subtle elements into 5 sense perception, the panch tan matra, and the 5 karmendriya, and the mind, man, buddhi, intellect, all these, they merge into the mahatattva, and this in their original calls for two padard, right? So one padard means 50 years of Brahmaji's life is one padard. So one day into 360 is 1 year of Brahmaji, and Brahmaji will live for 100 years. So once he completes 50 years, it is called one padad. So right now, our Brahmaji has completed 50 years. We are in the 51st year. And in the 51st year, the first day is ongoing. And in the first day, 27 kalpas have completed, and 27 sorry, in the first day of Brahmaji, 6 manvantars are completed, and we are in the seventh manvantar. And in the seventh manvantar, 27 chaturyugis are completed, and we are in the 20th chaturyugi. And in the 20th chaturyugi, we have completed Satyug, Treta, and Dwapar, and now we are into Kali Yuga. So that is the meaning of Parardh. Also, the the personality of the Lord is described that he is beyond speech, mind, and different faculties of the human mind, because Lord cannot be understood by our material senses. He is a spiritual. And Gajendra is talking about how to attain him through different processes, which is Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyas, and Bhakti. Let us read the next slide.
Shilaji, do you want to read this?
Bhaiya, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
1 second. Hail to you, being the cause of all, but remaining himself unaffected by it. Greetings to you as an ocean in which all tantras, Shastra, and Vedas keep flowing. I bow to the Lord who, like the fire hidden in Aranis firewood stick, Aranis actually it is, Aranis firewood stick is hidden in the three gunas and reveals himself to selective enlightened souls. Number 6, my bow to the Lord who himself being free from bondage does not tire, hesitate to cut the bondage of ignorant souls like me. When taken shelter at your feet, may that Supreme Lord bring about my complete deliverance from the clutches of this monster, crocodile, and also from material bondage. I glorify that imperishable, infinite, absolute supreme, ruler of even Brahma and Shiv, who is very near but can only be attained with concentration of mind and is beyond material senses. Number 7, headed by Brahma, the Lord has created infinite beings with infinite names. All jeeves have to eventually return back to the Supreme, just as sparks of fire or rays of sun return back to their source. The Lord is neither an animal, nor a human, nor a god, no demon, no male, no female. May he reveal himself to bring about my release. Radhe Radhe.
So much knowledge is being provided, enunciated by Gajendra, who was King Indradyumna, a very scholarly and a very devoted king, which will be unfolding as we read further. But look at the beauty of the spiritual knowledge he is imparting, that the Lord cannot be described by words. About the Lord, they say, Anor Anyan Mahato Mahyan. He is greater than the greatest and he is smaller than the smallest. So everything about Lord is contradictory. He is present here and he is present everywhere else. That is not possible for the normal person, the humans, or any other living being. But God can do everything and the impossible and the reverse of everything. That is why he is called Kartum Akartum Anyatha Kartum Samartha. So when we see contradictory qualities in God, we should not be surprised. That is how it is meant to be. So Lord has unlimited power, unlimited strength, unlimited knowledge, unlimited intelligence, unlimited wealth. Everything is unlimited about God. So and that we can also see in the universe. If we look at our own body, it is so marvelous. Every person who is living on this earth planet, they have different voices, they have different facial structure, they have different fingerprints. How this variety is being orchestrated, we should just pause and think that there is such a absolute fantastic brain behind the entire creation, and we are only looking at the earthly planet. There are so many more such cosmological elements in the universe. So if we look at the trees, the same. It seems in the trees, the two leaves are all not the same. Every leaf is different. Then we look at the patterns in the fishes, in the butterflies. So all this variegated creation that we see gives an indication that the Lord's opulence is infinite, and that is what he reveals in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter also, he says, no one can understand me, even the greatest rishis cannot understand my origin because they themselves are born from my energy. So this is all about the opulence of the Lord, which Gajendra is singing. Let us see the next slide.
Yeah, any new
Yeah.
participant want?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else wants to
Yeah.
read?
I don't mind
Yes.
reading, unless there's somebody else. I don't mind reading some more, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. I do not wish to continue living even after being rescued, as what use is the life as an ignorant elephant in the material world? I only wish to shed my ignorance, which cannot be got by time, but only through spiritual grace and enlightenment. I respect all yogis who, with concentration of mind, perceive Lord in their heart after exhausting their karmas with devotion. Hail to you who protects all those seeking refuge in you after being tormented by the three gunas. Number 9, your Maya acting as an ego deludes a jeev and is unable to know its own self. So, O Lord, please protect me, Sukhdev ji says, seeing the gods unresponsive to Gajendra's mental prayer as it was not addressed to any one particular form, name of the Lord. So Sri Hari manifested himself on the spot, riding on the Garud, accompanied by celestial beings, singing his glories. Number 10. Beholding the magnificent Sri Hari, Gajendra, as a mark of respect and practice, immediately plucked a lotus to offer to Sri Hari, uttered, ignoring his deep physical pain, Hail to you, O Narayan, preceptor, Jagadguru of the universe. Number 11. Understanding his excruciating pain, Sri Hari alighted, extracted Gajendra's foot from the crocodile's mouth, and cut the crocodile's head with his Sudarshan Chakra, all together simultaneously happening together. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. So this description is so profound and so comforting to the devotee, that how Lord protects the devotees and is always eager to rush to the rescue of the devotee if the devotee has made such a connection. So let's read the next slide. Maybe I can
I
read
think
a few and then Vijay. Okay, so that was the last slide. Okay.
yeah.
Fine. So now we come to now, which is the next one? Yeah. So now we come to the takeaways. I selected some verses from Bhagwat Gita, and which is from 10th chapter. I was just talking about 10th chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. So in the 10th chapter, you know, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun Vishad Yoga, lamentation by Arjun about the consequences of the Mahabharat battle. Second chapter is Sankhya Yoga, which is the analytical study of the spiritual science. Krishna describes about the soul and the Karma Yoga and Buddhi Yoga, and how one can become steadfast in the spiritual path by becoming sthit pragya, steady in the resolution. The third chapter is a detailed account of Karma Yoga, and the fourth chapter is Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga. So Sri Krishna compares Karma with Gyan and Sannyas, and the fifth chapter is dedicated to Sannyas, Karma Sannyas. So it's called Karma Sannyas Yoga. So there are two types of devotees. One who relinquish the work, the home, they retire to ashram or a forest, and then they engage in spiritual activities throughout their life. So that is karma sannyas. But those who stay back, even after gaining the knowledge, they remain where they are, that they are called karma yogi. So there is one category karma yogi and another category karma sannyasi. Sri Krishna says in Bhagwat Gita that he prefers karma yoga because everyone cannot become karma sannyasi. That is only for a few special people. Rest of it, Sri Krishna says, you be in your station, do whatever you are doing, but change your mental status and become a karma yogi. So that is about the fifth chapter, karma sannyas in Bhagavad Gita. The sixth chapter is dhyan yoga, the yoga through meditation. The seventh chapter is gyan vigyan yoga, yoga through understanding of the practical knowledge and the theoretical knowledge. The eighth chapter is called Akshar Brahma Yoga, about the imperishable Lord, where we discuss about the unmanifest form of the Lord and how the process of dying takes place. The ninth chapter is called Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Yoga, where Sri Krishna talks about the confidentiality of the knowledge and how this knowledge is the king of all the knowledge. And then comes the 10th chapter, where Arjun wants to know, Lord, you are saying so much about yourself. Please tell me exactly how you are. So Sri Krishna describes himself and he says, my opulences are infinite. Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu. Sri Krishna says, how many qualities of mine I can describe? Let me give you a glimpse. So that is a chapter where Sri Krishna says, among the sages, I am Rishi. Among the gurus, I am Brihaspati. Among the archers, I am Lord Ram. Among the serpents, I am Vasuki. Among the trees, I am Banyan tree, Ashwath tree. Among the land animals, I am the lion. Among the rivers, I am Ganga. Among the mountains, I am Himalayas. All this he describes. He gives the message that he is there everywhere. He selects some most resplendent glories from them. So that is what is stated in the 10th chapter, and these slokas are the opening slokas where the Lord says, Maharshaya Saptapurve Chatvaro Manavastatha Madbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Ima Praja. This is 10th chapter 6 verse, where the Lord says, the 7 great sages, the 4 great saints before them, and the 14 Manus are all born from my mind. From them all the people in the world have descended. So how the creation takes place? The nature manifests itself into Ahankar, Mahatattva, Panchtan Matra, Panch Mahabhut, and all the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the water, the fire, everything is installed in the universe, and then the personalities are born. So first Brahmaji comes from the navel of Vishnuji, and from Brahmaji's meditation the Manas Putras are born. So first the 4 Kumar, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak, Sanandan, they are also called Kumaradi rishis. And then the 7 Sapt rishis, who are Vashist, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu. These are the Saptarishis, Marichi. They are born from the mental, the Manas Putras. And then Daksh Prajapati and other Prajapatis are born. Then the Prajapatis are in the position to populate the world. And then population doesn't grow. So Brahmaji sits in meditation, and from his body, Manu and Shatrupa, the man and the woman form that emerges. Before that, all the Srishti is asexual. There is no mother in the birth. It is all from meditation and the other methods. So the Mathuni Srishti starts from the the birth of Manuji and Shatrupaji from the body of Brahmaji, because the creation was not growing. So Brahmaji creates the 2 forms and also invokes Kamdev to create the attraction between the man and the woman. And then the Mathuni Shrishti begins, and the first children of Manuji and Shatrupa are Akuti, Devhuti, Prasuti, 3 daughters and 2 sons. Priyavratanu, Tanpad, and that's how the population grows. And from other lineages also the population grows. That's a very fascinating story which we have read earlier. So that's what the verse says. First the four Kumar brothers, then the seven Saptarishis, then Manuji. And Manu is a post, and every Manvantar the Manu will change. So all these are born from the Hiranyagarbh energy. First the Brahmand, the egg shape, golden egg emerges from the navel, and then Brahmaji appears in that on a lotus. And the next verse is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. So Shri Krishna says that I am the origin of all creation. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. So these are some very beautiful, iconic shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, which are going so resonantly well with what we are learning in Bhagavad Mahapuran. So I presume that's the last slide. So now
Yeah.
I can request Vijay Bhaiya to open up the discussions,
Yeah.
and his words plus the words from any participant.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Vaya, for again like summarizing everything from the beginning and then restarting from where we live in previous sessions. So yeah, I mean, it was really nice to hear the story and the the prayers of Gajendra, and we sometimes also hear that he was kind of he asked for help, which is like Sakam Bhakti, compared to Nishkam Bhakti, but we like so that's where I sometimes think I keep on getting questions that do I need to think that okay, God is helping me every time, or because that is also kind of a sakam way of thinking, right? That for our own interest we are thinking that okay, God must be helping me, or God should help me in this case. Um, yeah, I mean, that's how I get to my question, but I'll open up to the whole audience, like if they have any other questions or they want to ask anything, you can.
Very beautiful point you pointed out what is Sakam Bhakti and what is Nishkam Bhakti. So this is something very private between the devotee and the Lord. So we all know that if you are connected with God, you don't have to really make a request that God, you please look at me or you please help me, because God is constantly helping the devotee. So you are very much right, and we should try to get a resolution. Why did Gajendra want the Lord to save him? So we can also interpret that Gajendra is not saying so pointedly that come and save me. He is accepting that now my end is near. So my end is near, and but I want to surrender to you, Lord, fully. How I was doing my worship when I was in the human body as a king Indradyum, and that how that everything started. I mean, God discontinued because of the curse. So he is remembering those moments. So we can also say that it was not that he was begging for saving his life. He was just remembering. His remembrance, intensified, and that's when the Lord, uh, came to his rescue. But we can also say, was Draupadi's cry Sakam Bhakti? There also it is not so black and white. We can say first, we can interpret it this way, that first Draupadi thought that Bhishma Pitama will save him. She looked at him when she was being disrobed, but Bhishma Pitama couldn't do anything. He put his head down because he was subservient to Duryodhan. He was his subject. And then she started looking at all the husbands, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev, Yudhishthir, and everyone. They are protecting the dharma. We have lost the game of dice, so we cannot help you because we have become servitors to the Duryodhan. That's when she realized that there is no one really to help her. And then she looked at the Lord. So looking at the Lord, we can say either is Sakam Bhakti or just the surrender. So we can take
Yeah.
it in that way that now she has fully surrendered, that, oh Lord, you can only save me if you wish to save me. Otherwise, I have nowhere to go. So this is also a very beautiful topic in the satsang, when Draupadi later asked the Lord, "Oh Lord, why did you not come to me immediately?" There was a delay, and this delay could have been very much, unwelcome, because the way Dushashan was pulling the sari. So the Lord made a very humorous remark. He says, "What did you say, Draupadi? You said, O Dwarkadhish, the Lord residing in Dwarka." So when you said Lord residing in Dwarka, I had to go from your heart to Dwarka and come back. So that took a bit of time. So this is a humorous narration, because he is telling her, I am seated in your heart, Draupadi. So you don't have to say, the Lord seated in Dwarka. I am there everywhere. So that was a nice narration about the Chirharan episode. So the Sakam Bhakti and Nishkam Bhakti, we have to hear from the authority to understand. But yes, the general rule is we shouldn't have any our own desire, because we should assume that God is totally aware about what we need, and there is no need to communicate. So with that,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
Aradhya, I have
Chaturanga.
questions, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 Arad.
Radhe.
Radhe.
I really liked your class. I wanted to ask that what does Gandharva mean?
Yeah, so like we are humans and we know animals, we know birds, we know. So these are different species. So they are on our planet. But as we understand, there are different planets, the Swargalok, Mahalok, Janalok. So in some of the lokas, these super personalities exist. So Gandharvas are very prominent in singing and dancing and those art forms. And they're also much more powerful. Like they say, one Gandharva will have the strength of 10,000 elephants or 1,000 elephants. So they are more powerful. They are expert singers. One of the singers is known as Hu. Their singing is even sweeter and more melodious than the singing that we know. So they are Gandharva. Similarly, there are other species, superhumans, you can say, Kinnars and Charanas and Siddhas. So if you Google, you can learn a bit about all of them. Aradhya.
So because I learned this type of dance, Indian classical, and then my teacher said that when I give the exam for it, I have to give it in Gandharva style. So
Yeah,
that's why.
true. So, yeah, so you can research a bit more by reading about Gandharvas and some stories. So there are yakshas also, and our dance forms, because they are very much expert in dancing and singing. So I don't have much knowledge about it, but the references are taken from those episodes, right?
Right. Thank you,
So
Radhe.
you have learned Hindustani classical,
Yes,
singing or dancing?
I learned Bharatanatyam.
Oh, you learned Bharatnatyam, so you have completed.
No, I'm still learning.
Okay, great, wonderful.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
I see a couple of new folks joining today. Anena Didi. I also see Veena Didi. Do you want to unmute yourself and introduce, or if you have any questions, you can also ask.
Radhe Radhe. I'm Amina. Uh,
feels like uh, I've, I got this opportunity to join this group through Aparna and Vijay, and that's really nice. Like I happened to be in Manchester for a long time, but I could not. I was looking how to join onto the group. It is the first session for me, and it's really very much heart touching, as well as lot of like it. It gives me that platform to now get back into uh, the thing that I loved when I was back in India. I hope I grow with it.
Thank you so much. We welcome you in our group, and we will share the knowledge of Bhagwat Mahapuran as much as we can.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Veena Didi, I know you unmute yourself. She says, I'm in Harrow trying to learn.
Right. So,
Sheila Didi, do you have any questions? I see Hima Didi also joining. Today.
I was interested in the Gajendra Moksha and the Gajendra and the crocodile story quite a lot. I had similar sort of what's it called again? A similar sort of question like you had, Vijay Bhaiya, about Sakam, Nishkam Bhakti. I do understand about the Sakam and Nishkam Bhakti, but sometimes I feel that, you know, is it what's wrong in asking? But then I realized, well, already Maharaji and Sri Hari, Sri Guru, Hari Guru both know what's needed. And, if it's my product to suffer, then so be it. It's not suffering per se. It's sort of they're elevating me to the next level. That's what I should be thinking. But sometimes the mind goes away and goes on the pain and the suffering. And then you lose all control over your mental faculties and then sort of dwindle. But at least now I do have the strategies to come back again. And there are friends like Hema who have been helping me tremendously, and Rajesh ji, of course. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
yes, absolutely. Because as Sheila Didi said, that God is seated in our heart, He is watching us all the time. So He exactly knows what we need. And if He is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Mother, which Supreme Mother will not help the devotee? So if we are suffering, there is the need to suffer, because that's what we do to our children also. Sometimes we punish the children, not that we don't love the child, but we have to make the child the best version of the person. So the goal has to go through the fire to become purified. So Maharaji has written a very beautiful verse that तुम मेरे थे मेरे हो मेरे रहोगे, बहकू ना अब बहकाने से। जब समझ प्रेम में डूब गई तो क्या होगा समझाने से। तुझको है सब मेरा अर्पण, तुम ही हो मेरे जीवन धन। जब पीछे नहीं अब पीछे नहीं हटेगा पग पिय, that particular song. तुम मेरे थे मेरे हो मेरे रहोगे. So one of the line is और बढ़ेगा छिन छिन मेरा, क्यों तेरे समझाने से। और अधिक चमकेगा सोना, पुनि पुनि अग्नि जलाने से. So the gold will shine more if it is put in the fire. That is why Lord will put us into trouble, because He wants that we should come out purified. We should burn the sins or the negativities that we have. That is the reason it may appear that the Lord is not looking to us still we are suffering, but actually the purification process is ongoing. If we have that kind of connection, then our welfare will be so much accelerated. It is like you place a bowl of chocolates and a bowl of diamonds before a small child. What will he pick up? He will pick up the chocolate because he doesn't know what the diamonds are. So similarly, Lord, you know, it is better for Lord to decide what we need. Otherwise, we may select something which is not really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Bhaiya. Radhe Radhe.
yeah, I think Hema Didi unmute herself. Do you have any question, Hema Didi?
Oh yes, Radhe Radhe. The surrender has to be nishkam surrender, and that surrender will only come to the point where Hari Guru have pushed us to our limits, where we need to surrender. We need to open up our all in them, and challenges, adversities, they all come our way for a reason, to uplift us, to elevate us, and for us to get closer, so he can then hold our hand all the way. That's my 2 cents. And Gajendra's surrender was only after he had endured so much pain and suffering. And if you look around, all his other family elephant associates, they were all around him, but nobody came to him except the Supreme Lord, who heard his sincere prayer and surrender. So suffering, it's good. It's a good sign that we suffer physically, mentally, or emotionally, and that's the only way where we can realize, okay, now's the time to step back, think, why, who, how can I come out of this? And it's just through the surrender, the 6 aspects of surrender. But then you need to have that knowledge as well, and the knowledge is here in the Bhagavad Gita. Not Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. The mind knowledge is there in the Bhagavad Gita, how to make your mind stronger, how to attach it to Hari Guru. Knowledge is all there in Sankhya Yoga, in Karma Yoga, in Sanya Yoga, and in the surrender chapter. And then the continuation is the Srimad Bhagavatam on how to do the bhakti, the devotion, the vow. Life will throw challenges at you. Then, Hari Guru's there as well. But we have to surrender. We have to apply that knowledge every day in our lives. If you look at it, Gajendra surrendered, Prahlad, Dhruv, many more there, many more, the gopis. Radhe Radhe. My book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to summarize, the best is not to develop our own demands, because knowing that God knows the best. It's like a small child. He only has to cry and the mother will rush to the child. When the child is 100% dependent on the mother, it is very small, 1 month old, 2 months old, 3 months old. The mother is 100% in charge of the child. The same relationship exists between the soul and God. If the soul becomes 100% dependent on God, that means it's 100% surrendered. So the Lord will take 100% care of the soul. But we start doubting, we start demanding, and we break the faith. Otherwise, the Lord is very categorically saying in 9:22, Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 22nd verse, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupaste tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyam. If a devotee connects with me exclusively, I look after the devotee. and I provide whatever the devotee lacks, and I preserve whatever he already has. So where is the question of not being, helped by the Lord in all circumstances? All the time is helping us. And the times when we are suffering are the cleansing process. So that's our examination, which with our devotion, slowly, slowly we will pass. In the intermediate stage, if sometimes we cannot but demand something from the Lord, that is very natural. We are all evolving, so we shouldn't be too devastated about it, because this is something very private between God and the devotee. With that, Vijay Bhaiya, over to you for conclusion.
Yeah, I think we had a very nice question answer today. Hope everyone is, satisfied with their clarification, and will continue like this in upcoming sessions and with Canto 8. With that,
बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु
Bhagwat
सरकार की
Sarkar
जय,
Jai,
Jai.
श्रीमद जुगल सरकार की
Sarkar Ki
जय।
Jai.
जय जय श्री
Jai,
Shri
राधे,
Radhe.
जय जय श्री
Jai,
राधे,
Radhe.
जय
जय
Jai
जय
Jai
श्री
Jai
Shri
Shri
राधे।
Radhe.
Radhe,
राधे राधे।
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.